Well, I mean, history is alive. It's very exciting. One of the things I like to do is look at an artifact from the past. It comes alive to me when I see it, or go to a historical site. Or with societies like New York Historical Society, they kind of break through in giving us tools to access to make the storytelling of American history riveting. And the one thing we can't afford to do is be boring as historians. You never want, what makes me cringe if I hear a young person say history is boring or doesn't interest me, it creates a sense of pain in me that I want to reach out to that person and reform them. And how do we do it? I've been teaching a class on U.S. presidents for decades, and students just love it. To be able to lecture on the real George Washington and then do that with all the presidents up to Joe Biden is really a great kind of primer course in American political history. We've had some exemplary presidents. I could think of nobody better to study than Franklin D. Roosevelt. Not only did he win 4 terms, but FDR brought us through the Great Depression and World War II, and he did it in a wheelchair, stricken with polio. And he's telling us and the American people, I have nothing to fear but fear itself. What a powerful thing, because we're all feeling crippled by some problem in our life. We're all feeling of a kind of victimization. And what's worse than losing the lower half of your body? Yet Roosevelt believed in the freedoms of democracy so much that he, metaphorically rose from the wheelchair to guide our country through some of its darkest and most important hours. And so there's an inspiration that I live with every day thinking about somebody like Franklin Roosevelt. There are also presidents that you might want to learn about, but you realize that they were failed at what they did. But there are little lessons. The fact like George Washington only served 2 terms and wouldn't take a 3rd term. There's always a reminder in our life that sometimes you have to let go of power, or you have to step down from a job, or you have to give something up. So each presidential story, there's something surrounding them that you'll find useful in everyday life. The big thing is to remind people that their own times are not uniquely oppressive, that it's been tough in American history, and all you have to do is look at the Middle Passage and slavery and Jim Crow, or look at the farm conditions for Latino workers and Filipino workers. Look at how difficult it was to unionize in this country. Look at Japanese internment camps of World War II or genocide of indigenous people. It's a hard story studying the United States, but here we are, this patchwork of a nation built on institutions and democratic principles, and we all have to kind of put our shoulders to the wheel and get behind this noble experiment, because if we don't, mankind, the planet is doomed. The United States is the moral exemplar of the world, even though we often behave immorally. So there's a lot of responsibility on what it means to be an American citizen. And so whether you learn it in a civics class, or whether you learn it from taking presidential history, or you're doing political science or global governance, it's important when you're young to get involved and believe in this experiment of the United States and continue to educate yourself as you get older.